It is shut.
Hello you soggy spectres and welcome to my review of Project Zero, Maiden of Blackwater. Now the first thing I must say is if you are sensitive to themes of suicide or themes of purposeful death, this game is definitely not for you because there is a lot of it, like constant reminder or constant issues when it comes to people committing Sudoku. So yeah, if you don't like that, then stay away from this game. And that being said, with those themes which are very prominent throughout the entirety of this game, they are dealt with very superficially. So they kind of just dive a little bit into the details. Ghost possession, you know, the norm which you would expect from this type of game is obviously the ghost did it, or it's a group of pretty and cute young girls, of course, all decide that they want to try and kill themselves, and then the themes go from that. That's kind of it, really. There's not really a massive eureka moment or hugely deep meaning to it. It should have been a lot more detailed, a lot more specific. If you're going to touch on these themes, if you're going to go all in on it, especially for the whole game, if you're going to go all in on it, then you need to make sure you do it well. And I'll be honest, Maiden of Blackwater doesn't really do it. It's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as it should be as far as the suicidal themes go. Now, the rest of the story and getting to know certain characters are also kind of hit and miss. I mean, they leave a lot to be desired, a lot more depth, a lot more detail is just waiting to happen. A lot of the characters feel bland. A lot of the motives are kind of, well, I suppose we got to do it. Someone has to. There's nothing that really draws you in with the characters and makes you fight for them or fight with them. There's just none of that hero kind of aspects for the characters and the main protagonist for this game. It's kind of, I guess we got to do it because somebody has to. And honestly, that's a massive disappointment to me because the game itself, the atmosphere for these, the ghosts themselves, the possession, all of those kind of things which you really hope go well in a ghostly game are done well. The actual different types, I mean, I know it's autists taking a picture of a camera, but at the same time, I don't know, what, you're going to shoot the ghost with guns? The idea is obviously with the camera, it steals your soul. That was what it's supposed to be, so obviously it damages ghosts. But the way the ghosts are played out, the different mechanics, the different styles of boss fights as well are varied enough. It's just very frustrating, I suppose is the best word for me, is that there's not more to the story to really hook me in, and not more to the characters to make me really want to save their lives, as opposed to, many other games in this kind of genre. Even Resident Evil 4 with Ashley saying Leon all the time. Even she made me want to save her because she kind of had that personality, even if it was kind of an irritating thing. But there was still that drive, where if this, it's not really there as much. Now, I touched on the camera briefly, which is your main defense, your main attack against these ghosts. And there are some pros and cons to it. I played this on PS4, not PS5. I'm not one of those lucky ones, or unlucky ones I suppose, because there's not that many games for it. Anyway, that's a different subject. And the controls are extremely sluggish and stiff. Not just for the camera aiming itself, but the movement. It feels like you're running through sludge, and then when you actually run through water, it feels like you are dying in quicksand. It's just very frustrating how they haven't modernized the controls a lot. It comes down to run, you just hold down L2 and then just sprint pretty much in a straight line. You're just like a train on tracks and you will go that way. The controls are not helpful in the slightest, and it doesn't add to the horror, to the tense situation. The atmosphere does that itself. You don't need a helping hand with terrible controls. It just makes it more infuriating than anything else, and not having that freedom, especially when you're trying to escape, when literally all you need to do is put your camera down and you should be able to run fine. No, it's very restrictive, and that's so frustrating. Even when you do get the prompt to dodge when you are in that camera mode, it just feels like it wants to let you dodge whenever it feels like. It's very temperamental. It's not a case of you have full control over the dodge. It just, if it wants you to dodge, it will let you do it. If it doesn't, you're going to get grabbed by the ghoulies, and I mean ghosts. There's also constant vibrations going on with the controls. Pretty much any time you take a step, any time there's a possible ghost around, the controller just goes nuts and vibrates like crazy. Even in cutscenes, okay, sometimes there's tense situations and cutscenes where something's happening to the character, but your controller will go absolutely nutso, just for the sake of it. If it's used in the right way, it's going to be used in good effect. It will work really well, but when you do it too much, it loses that effect, especially if you're trying to use it for jump scares. There's also this very weird mechanic of that you have to pick up an item. Okay, it's on the floor and you go to pick it up, and it will take you about 10 seconds for you to pick up this item, because you have to hold down R2 in the case for the PS4, and then you slowly go to pick it up, and there's a chance that a ghost can grab your hand, which, okay, if it was a bit faster, it'd be a good little test of your reactions, but when it's seriously slow, and then sometimes, it doesn't matter, again, similar to the dodge mechanic, you will get grabbed. It's just annoying, and it happens all the time. You can die from it, so you could be going down to pick up a key story item, which is just a note, a scribbled note, you gotta pick it up, and then ghost grabs you, that's it, you're dead. You're wiped out just because you were low HP at the time. Fortunately, I didn't die that way, but the fact that that is even a thing that can happen, that you picking up an item could kill you, is very infuriating. I know, I've been very negative about the game so far, and there's got to be good points, alright? Yes, actually there is. There's a lot of good points. The camera system, I actually really like. It still feels different, even after I played Project Zero way back on the PS2, I think the first time was that I actually played it, and it still feels unique. It still feels that it stands out. I know you get different Dread Out and that kind of stuff, which tried to copy it with the phones, but it really does stand out even now, which is it's quite refreshing. I do like to use the camera to find items. I do like the fact that it reveals hidden secrets and you have to tinker with the camera, as in swap the lens round or angle the camera in a certain way to essentially lockpick items to make them visible, or lockpick doors. I really like the extras that the camera adds. It's not just attacking. There are multiple ways to be able to use the camera, even if you do sometimes have to be super specific with what kind of angle you get the camera at to unlock something. I still really enjoy that part of the game. I enjoy that you have to get multiple targets into the camera lens, into the picture, to really unlock the full potential and do the most damage, especially to those boss ghosts. I nearly said doctors, and I don't know why, but the boss ghost, again, is a really cool feature and is something that could only really be done through that camera system, as opposed to, again, sure, you could shoot the enemies, shoot the ghosts with ghostly bullets or spectral bullets, but the fact you have to line up those camera shots and try and get the entire body and all of these souls and spirits which are lingering around, I really like that addition, and it just adds a little bit more strategy and tactics, instead of it just being, okay, do this and then that's how you kill the bosses. The way you have to tilt that camera around, or go for a landscape or portrait picture, or somewhere in between, just to get all of those souls in to do the most damage, is a really cool feature, which I really like. And even when you're exploring, you're trying to find those items, or you're going down a certain path during the story, I like the fact there's a Western quick draw with cameras, I guess, option for you to get more points to upgrade your camera as well. So if you're very quick, you can get your camera out, take a picture of some ghost, which is, I don't know, playing rock, paper, scissors with another ghost, but it gives you points which you can then use to upgrade your camera. Again, it's really nice. I like it. I like the addition of points. The better you do, the more you can upgrade. That's a nice thing. There's plenty of upgrades to get, even if there's an upgrade for your lens, and when you do select it, it doesn't actually tell you which one you selected. So if you fully upgraded all of them in the bottom, unless you know the Japanese kanji for what the lens stand for, you'll be like, which one is this one again? Oh, this is the HP one. Oh no, that's the damage one. Oh, this is the stun one. You will get a bit confused with the lenses. Or maybe it's just me. And finally, another thing I want to say is there are plenty of unlockables, whether it's costumes, hats, masks, rings, necklaces. That's across 3 different characters. There's lots for you to unlock as well, even if you're finished upgrading your camera, or if you just want to make them wear, I don't know, a swimsuit for whatever reason, because that's what you would do if you're hunting ghosts, I guess. You would wear a swimsuit. and a white t-shirt, which would be see-through. Glorious Nippon at its finest. Now, would I recommend Project Zero? I would say yes. Okay, with a little asterisk by it, because the sluggish controls will put about 90% of people off because they are so frustrating to use. However, it is a unique horror experience that only the other Project Zero or Fatal Frame games will let you experience. That's it. So it really does stand out that it is different from many other horror type games, and it's not just a stupid walking simulator, which I hate those kind of horror games personally. You are actually experiencing that game and putting yourself in it and trying your best to avoid things, as well as take the initiative and attack them too.